At the end of last week's parsha, Paro and the Egyptians sent Israel out from Egypt. But in this week's parsha, Beshalach, Paro regretted his decision. He realized that by sending Israel out with an open-ended and ambiguous command, he was effectively freeing them from slavery and allowing them to leave the country, something Paro had always said he did not want to do. So Paro countermanded his command and took the army to chase after Israel, intending to bring them back to Egypt. As Israel saw the Egyptians approach from the distance, they panicked and complained to Moshe about leaving Egypt. Moshe answered the people and then finished his answer by saying, "God will fight for you and you will be silent." What did Moshe mean by that? The simple answer that many commentators say is that Moshe was reacting to the people's panic, reassuring them that they will be okay as help from God was on its way. While this is a compelling answer and fits very well with the text, there are other ways to interpret Moshe's statement. Ho'il Moshe suggests that Moshe was telling the people to be quiet because their hysteria was not only unhelpful, but was also making matters worse. Emotions feed on emotions, and reacting with hysteria prevents a person from thinking clearly and either paralyzes them or causes them to act foolishly. If they wanted to be saved, they needed to be quiet and calm down so that God could save them. Ralbag adds that by being so loud, they would attract the Egyptians' attention, who were still at a distance, enabling them to find and attack the Israelites. There's a time for everything, including a time to be loud and a time to be quiet. Strategically, this was now a time to be quiet. Otherwise, their outbursts would attract the Egyptians' attention, leading to an attack and thus causing their greatest fear to come true. The Mechilta says that Moshe was reassuring Israel that not only would God fight for them now, but God would always fight for them. With Israel becoming God's people, they were now under God's protection. God fought for Israel in Egypt, and God would fight for Israel in the future. Israel had now become a timeless people and would always survive. At the Red Sea, even though their situation might seem hopeless, God would help them survive and thrive. Melechet Machshevet takes a different approach and suggests that instead of interpreting Moshe's statement as ending with an exclamation mark, it should be seen as ending with a question mark. Will God fight for you and you do nothing? This means Moshe was asking Israel, God is going to fight against the Egyptians for you and you will do nothing to help? You are now partners with God. You can't expect God to fight for you while you act passively and do nothing at all or act even counterproductively. As proof of this idea, Melechet Machshevet points to the next verse in the Torah, where God tells Moshe, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell Israel to start moving." In order to be worthy of God's actions, we too need to take action in some way. Depending upon the situation, each of these interpretations can be true. We need reassurance, but God is always there for us, even if we don't overtly see it. In a crisis, we must also be level-headed. We shouldn't attract unnecessary attention with our panicked actions, as that can cause the exact results we wish to avoid. And we also need to realize that we are partners with God, and as partners, we too must actively take some initiative. Shabbat Shalom.